guys, Richard from Forsyth here. Today we're going to be taking a look at what is sort of a rite of passage, I think, for many guitar players on their personal guitars when it comes to guitar work, and that is replacing a strap button. Now, the most common way I see this done, there's really two ways: the toothpick method and the bigger screw method. So the bigger screw method is what a lot of guys will do. When this pops out, they'll find a bigger screw, if it'll fit through their end pin, and they'll put it in the guitar and they'll call it a day. Well, 9 times out of 10, that slips out too after a little while. The toothpick method works. It's glue and a bunch of toothpicks, usually 2 or 3. You got to stick them in there and break them off, and then you can screw right back in there. Good in a pinch, but still not the best way, and you're going to have a high probability of that coming out again. So let's do it the right way today, and I'm going to show you what you're going to need. You're going to need a screwdriver. You're going to need a dowel. You can get these at Walmart. They're just little pine dowels. You're going to need a few drill bits. I like to have one that is slightly smaller than the dowel, and then the next one up that is the size of the dowel, so I can get a consistent hole. And the way you sort of size it up is you take the end of your drill bit, put it against your dowel, and there's your size, right? So it can be just smaller than your dowel. You don't want it any bigger than your dowel though. So I'm going to cut a piece of this off and it will go in here, obviously. And you can do that with a saw or whatever. A razor knife works for me most of the time. You don't really need anything longer than what your screw is going to be. I'll go ahead and get this cut and then bring it in. And don't be fooled by the big hammer here. We're not going to be tapping a lot of hard pressure, just a little bit of pressure. You do need a smaller drill bit that is smaller than your actual screw as well to put your new hole in after you glue your peg in. I use Titebond. I like 2. It doesn't really matter as long as it's a decent wood glue. Okay, pardon the crunching. That's just coconut eating dinner. So I have my little hole here where the pin came out originally, and I have my new dowel right here, which is ever so slightly curved on the end to make it slide in easier. There's a lot of that's what she said moments in this video. Now I'm going to just work on my properly sized hole in depth here. Now you can take a drill and you can run it in here. This guitar, I know for a fact, is made of basswood, so I'm going to just be careful and do it by hand. If you have a sharp enough drill bit, it does not take long at all, guys. Now, this was my smaller one. Now I'm going to go to my dowel size one. It should be just, ever so slightly larger than the other one. I know it's probably painstaking for a lot of you power tool guys. Obviously I like power tools too, but I just really don't want to cause any more stress in the horn because it's such a small area that relies on holding the entire weight of the guitar. So doing it this way doesn't take all that much longer to do the repair, in my opinion, the safe way. So now we're just going to check, see if our dowel goes in there. It does. That's a good depth. That's probably about the length of the original screw. That's good. So I'm going to trim this off just a little bit, and then we're going to glue it in. I went ahead and back in with the slightly smaller drill bit as well to the front of the hole so that this little rounded off point I made will go all the way down. Also, off camera, managed to go ahead and slice up my thumb like you do. Now you can drip the glue in the hole if you like, but you don't really need to. I like to load up about half the dowel, and the rest will push through the glue on its way into the guitar. And don't let the size of the hammer fool you. We just need small taps. There we go. It's already pre-measured. I felt it bottom out in there just like we want. Just cleaning it off. I'll let you take a look at that, and then when we come back, we're gonna let it dry for a little while. We're gonna come back and drill our new hole. So here's our simple but effective repair. You can see little finish chips, and what you can do if you want, you can take a little bit of CA glue and just put a dot right there on the end. That'll help keep this finish from chipping out. We're going to go ahead and drill our new hole now. This thing's been drying for a while. Should be ready to go. But yeah, with just your standard stage use, there's no reason that won't last the entire rest of the life of the instrument. I like to use something sharp to get this little starter hole here. You can use a smaller drill bit or a punch or a nail. Anything you have that can keep your new bit from sliding off there. So I just used a razor blade. And you don't have to go fast. Try to put it at the angle that follows the horn. I can't tell you how many times I see repairs like this on YouTube or wherever where people skip that drilling step for whatever reason, and it always ends up in tragedy, especially with the toothpick method. I guess guys don't think they need to drill those, but it's always a good thing to remove material when you're going to put more material in, like this metal screw, so that it doesn't cause stress at a very weak point on the guitar. That's it, guys. She's all fixed. Now I know there's a million ways to fix things like this, but this is the way that I think lasts the longest and is the strongest, which is the whole point, right? So I hope you guys got something out of this, and when this happens to you, you'll be able to do this simple repair and fix it yourself. Our bass is looking good. Going to be actually up for sale soon. Pretty excited about that. And I'm sure Coconut is too, wherever he's at. But thanks for checking out my channel, guys, and I will see you next time. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff.